Hey Visionary, welcome to another episode here at the Nothing for Granted podcast. I'm going to keep today's episode short because I still am in the process of recuperating my voice after a pretty eventful weekend and weddings and birthday parties and all of the things that come along with the holiday season. So today's going to be a pretty short episode, but I wanted to talk to you about copywriting as a freelance funding expert. Okay, what is copy? Why should you care? How can you use this within your business? And if this is a skill you have not yet developed, how can you start sharpening this tool, which you can then have in your toolbox, in your arsenal bag? All right, let's go ahead and just jump right into today's episode.
Welcome to Nothing for Granted, a space for aspiring grant writers who are tired of feeling undervalued, underpaid, and overworked by your understaffed nonprofit. Hi, my name is Eliana, grant writer, grants consultant, and freelance coach for Christian entrepreneurs. I live for long-distance cycling rides, iced chai lattes, and outdoor adventures with my 4 little beasts. I teach you grant writing strategies and freelance tactics that set you apart when launching and scaling your Holy Spirit-led business. I too was paralyzed by those questions. So paralyzed, in fact, that I launched my business twice, thinking maybe I should take another training because, underqualification. Well, 5 certifications on my wall later. But what if I told you that with a little basic knowledge and next to no experience, you too could launch a successful and sustainable freelance grant consulting business while pursuing that degree, raising littles, and maybe getting a tan on the beach? Permission granted to stop feeling guilty over leaving behind that organization that has you stagnant and to confidently and boldly step into the most elevated version of who you were created to be. You're here for encouragement, accountability, and a slight tough love kick in the butt. No goals, just standards. Lace up your combat boots, tighten up that ponytail. Girl, it's time to get to work.
All right, so copy, if you don't already know, is it's kind of like a buzzword right now in the online space. It's basically just the wording that you are using for marketing, for sales, just a way, the words and the phrasing and the written communication that you use in order to allow the reader to learn more about you and hopefully convert that contact, that initial contact that they're having with you, into a sale. Why should you care? Because in one way or another, we are all writing copy. Okay, whether you know it or not, you're writing copy. Every time you post on Instagram, every time you create a blog post, every time you update even your resume, this is all copy. And so the more comfortable you are with your voice, the easier it's going to be for you to connect with your audience, the easier it's going to be for you to create content and attract the right people who are going to secure your services. Now, the second reason you need to care is because it's important for you to get it right. Okay, you have to, like I mentioned, you're already creating content, and you're already using copy, whether you know it or not. And so copy is meant to extract an emotion and create an experience for that reader. Okay, and when you can create good copy, it's going to convert into sales, and not just any kind of sales, but sales that will have longevity. You'll have a full client experience, because that person feels like they know you, they like you, they trust you enough to invest and be all in with you. Okay, so now that we know why this is important, okay, I want you to just consider this. Let's say that you begin to learn more about copy and you start sharpening this skill and you start realizing this is something that you could actually see yourself doing for a long time. You actually enjoy this. This is a skill that you can add to your services. So we've talked about before, as a funding professional, as a grants professional, you don't only have to focus on grants. There's so many different services that you can add, which are going to make you stand out. And I do believe that copywriting is one of them. And so how do you sharpen this skill? How do you make this count? And where do you even start? Well, number one, I would say keep a journal. Okay, and I know that some of you think, oh, great, here we go with that woo-woo stuff. I don't have time to journal. Totally fine. You can keep an audible journal. And what this is basically you use your voice memos and you record your thoughts. You record what's going on, what has happened in your business recently. You record how you're feeling, morning reflections, whatever it is that you would write in a journal, you instead would just add into that audible quote unquote journal. So you can then take that recording and transcribe it, and you can use that for your content, for your website, for your sales page. You could also, if this is not the route that you would like to go, although this is what I really would recommend, this has helped me tremendously with my copy. But number two, you could also just take a workshop or a mini course. It doesn't have to be something extensive unless you absolutely want it to be. But because all we're trying to do is learn more about it, kind of tweak what we already are doing, a mini course is a great place to start. And it can be really, really affordable. I mean, we're talking $100-$200, and for just a couple weeks, and at least you start learning the bare bones of copy. The last way that you can start bettering your copy is to listen to the way that your clients speak. Again, we're going back to the same thing. You're probably rolling your eyes at this point at me, but I don't even care. I don't care if you're rolling your eyes at me. Market research is everything, okay? You have to know what the pain points of your clients are. You have to know how they speak, how do they phrase things, what words do they use, okay? Because then they can say, wow, I feel like you're speaking directly to me. Wow, this is exactly what I needed to hear, and you're saying it in my language. How can I accomplish that? I listen to you guys whenever you share your pain points with me. It's the exact same thing. When you know what the pain points are of your audience, when you know exactly the way that they talk, the words that they use, the way they express themselves, it makes it so much easier for you to be able to connect with them. All right, visionary. So I love you so much. I'm willing to lose my voice for you, but in all seriousness, I hope that you enjoy the remainder of your Thanksgiving weekend. Thank you so much for taking time to just spend some quality moments with me. I hope that you have learned something new and, take this as food for thought as you continue mapping out what your 2022 year is going to look like in terms of the services you're going to be providing and just the strategy that you're going to be putting in place as you start and or grow your current grants professional business. Have a wonderful and blessed rest of your weekend, and I will catch you on Wednesday.
Before you go, don't forget to rate, review, and share this podcast with a friend that needs to hear it. See you in next week's episode.